welcome back to Blue Heart Crochet. I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm doing a little craft catch up where I talk about what I've been knitting and crocheting. I normally try and do these every 2 weeks, but it's been a couple of months since I've been on to do a video. Life has just got hectic and crazy. I have a nephew coming, he's due any day now. His due date's not right now, but we're at that stage where it's any day now. Not far away from due date, so it's been a bit hectic sorting things out, helping out with the parents to be, you know, getting things done like the nursery and stuff like that, having a lovely baby shower, which was absolutely amazing. So it's been a bit busy with things like that, but then also I've had stuff going on in my personal life. I can't really talk about it because there's some people that I don't want knowing about what's going on until I'm able to share it with them, where it's not going to impact on things going on. But yeah, so I'm okay to talk about it privately, and I have spoke to a couple of people on Instagram. They've messaged to see, you know, are you okay, because there's been a bit radio silence and things like that, and I've been able to speak to them and let them know, like, you know, what's going on, because it's no one in the crafty community that I don't want knowing what's been causing all the stress, bad mental health and things like that. It's people who I have met in real life, but I don't want to say anything on here because knowing my luck, that video will just somehow get to them because it's on the public World Wide Web. So yeah, I can't mention it, but I will go through it in detail on my first day of Vlogmas this year, because I will definitely be able to mention it then, and we'll be in the clear by then. So that'll be okay to mention. If you're really nosy, do feel free to message me on Instagram, because like as I said, I'm happy to talk about it in private. So we've had all that going on. My health issues are still going on, with like my stomach problems and things like that. I had a test yesterday. Today's Saturday. I had a test yesterday on Friday, and I've got 2 appointments this week. I want to say the Wednesday and Thursday, but I can't be 100% sure. So yeah, that's been, yeah, we still don't have answers, but maybe when I go there on Wednesday and Thursday we may have answers. I don't know yet until I speak to them, but at the point still no answers on what's going on with like my guts and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a chaotic few months, but I'm starting to get into a good place again mentally. I have still been crafting. Crafting has really been very helpful to me, trying to get rid of the stress. I've not crafted as much as I want to, in the sense of, because I've been tracking how much yarn I've used each month, and I know that over the past couple of months it's not been as high as what it was at the beginning of the year, but I am getting projects finished. I'm enjoying what I'm working on, and I think that's the main thing. As long as we're enjoying crafting and it is doing its purpose for us. So for me, why I craft is because I find it relaxing, I find it soothing. As long as we're doing, as long as it's doing its purpose for us, that's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter how much we're getting out. That's not what it's all about, well, for me anyway. But yeah, let's get on. As I said, because I have been crafting still quite a bit, I've actually got a lot of FOs. I've only got 1 works in progress to show you. But yeah, so first thing I'm going to show you is my finished knitted items. Now, I've been, as I said, making stuff for my little nephew. I'm so excited, honestly. We're at that stage now where it's just, yeah, it's so exciting. Yeah, I can't wait to meet him. These have all been washed, blocked. They're ready to go over to mum's now. Not my mum's, baby's mum's, my sister. And she loves them, which that's the main thing. As long as the parents love them, that's great. So the first one is this little striped cardigan. Fold over like that. Oh, it's so cute. It's absolutely adorable. My sister picked the colours. Now, my sister has sort of had this thing where she's always been like trying to avoid blue, just because you see it everywhere. And yeah, she's been trying to pick up on different colours. She doesn't mind blue. She's got things for the baby that are blue. The chest of drawers in the nursery, they're blue, but where possible she's been trying to like sort of deviate and go into different colours, because we've noticed when we go out shopping and we're like looking at the baby clothes, in the girls you'll see like pinks, purples, reds, yellows, loads of stuff. In the boys section it's like all blue, and she's like, there's other colours that go well for like boys, like that, like still traditional, like greens, you know, your neutrals, reds, yellows that you see in the girl section. So yeah, she wanted me to go for greens and browns. So I sent my sister the link to the yarn and I said, pick the colours. So this was the cardigan from the book that she picked that she liked. It is the baby striped cardigan from the King Cole book. I will put a photo in somewhere to show you. Been showing you for the past few weeks. I'm not a fan of this book. I've had quite a few issues with it. So with this cardigan, it was all done in pieces. Now I do not mind that. I will not be like, I'm not doing a pattern because it like comes in pieces and you've got to sew it together. Do I prefer stuff that's like, you know, worked all in one, or as, you know, as little sewing as possible with like the garments? Yeah, prefer that, but it doesn't mean I will not do any other ways. So yeah, but these books are done in what I'd say a very traditional old English style, in the sense of like, they expect you to know so much and they're expecting you to just sort of be able to, they give you the very, very bare bones of it. For example, with the buttons, it just said sew on buttons on the button band. It didn't tell you where about to place them to match up with the holes. It didn't even tell you what size buttons you needed. So I just got these little wooden ones that I was gifted by a lovely lady that I follow on Instagram. She's absolutely fabulous. I love watching her knits, and she's not actually far from me. She's only over a river, so that's not too far. But yeah, she gifted me these little gorgeous little buttons, and they say on there, handmade with love, which is so true, because I made this with love for my little nephew. So the yarn I used was Drops Musca, Pistachio and Light Beige. And this is another thing where I didn't like the pattern. They didn't say how many grams or yards. It just said how many balls they used of that yarn that they were using. So anyway, I worked out the meterage of that yarn and worked out the meterage of this yarn. And then I bought what would have got the same as those balls. I ended up with not enough brown and tons of green. I've got loads of the green left over, so I had to buy more brown. So it's, yeah, it's, don't know how much, Drops Muscat. So the beige is the light beige and the green is pistachio, and the colours go really gorgeous together. I absolutely love them together. So yeah, I really like how it's turned out. But yeah, these books, if you're going to go for the books like these King Cole ones, I will say, I've not done a crochet one, so I can't really talk about the crochet, but with the knitting, they are not for beginners. They are for advanced. Like, as I said, sometimes I was getting confused on it, and I'd say I'm an intermediate knitter, so they are very, very, yeah, and they're done in a set style. You'll notice they're all done with that sewing up technique and things like that, which I'd never done before. So it's quite interesting getting it. Oh no, I have done it actually, because I did it on yeah, I did it for I did jumpers for my nieces from a book like this, but this one was, I think, Said Art that I did that book from. But yeah, again, they're all done exactly the same, and you've got to sew them all up, and they're very little hand-holdy. They're basically as bare bones information as possible. So yeah, I did that. Oh, and I remember what the major gripe was now. They'd often tell you to, they'd say, right, okay, for this jumper, start it off like a different jumper in the pattern. So I'd be starting it off and it'd tell you to, there'd be like 2 little asterisks, which is when you were supposed to go back to the pattern for the stripy jumper rather than the other pattern. But also, if you had like repeats, to say it was like knit 1, purl 1, to it'd be like, there'd be like 1 asterisk, and there'd be like repeat to end, and then you just, you know, you'd repeat what was in that asterisk to the end. So it was quite confusing, because you'd forget that double asterisks mean to go back to the old pattern. And there were a couple of times where I ended up doing the wrong pattern for a while, and yeah, so that was another thing with it. But I've got it done, really like it, and my sister loves it, and my brother-in-law love it. So yeah, can't wait to see my little nephew in that. I will not be posting any photos of my nephew in the items I've made him, just because my sister and brother-in-law do not want any photos of the baby going online. So yeah, respecting their privacy and things like that. And then my second finished object, another finish for the baby. So this is the pattern that I actually bought the book for. How cute is that? I love the little pleats, and then there's like a little bit of cabling detail in it. And this was the little Sunday cardigan or Sunday coat it was. And yeah, and then on the back it's got this gorgeous detail in here. It was supposed to have like a little tab across here with buttons on, but no matter how I sewed it on, it didn't look right. And that's my sewing. That's nothing to do with the pattern. That is all on me. So I decided to just leave it off, and my sister and brother-in-law are happy with it. It's got a little white detailing on the ends here, which is so cute, finishes it off really nicely. And then it's just got two little buttons up there, and they're just little plain whites, and they've got like a little rope effect design going around them. Yeah, so that's that. This one I used Drops Muscat again, but this one is in mint and white. Once again, I've got loads of yarn left over, particularly the white, because common sense would have been, I'd have looked at that and went, there's no way I'm going to need about 2 or 3 50-gram balls. I'm only going to need one. This was my common sense not kicking in here. You know, looking at it, going, yeah, one will be plenty, and if I need more, I can always get more, because, you know, it's white. No, I decided to, because they were using a 100-gram ball, and cotton's obviously got less yardage than the ball they were using. So yeah, me ends up buying like 3 balls of white. But I'm going to make some like little rattles for my nephew with the leftover yarn, maybe some face cloths, things like that. I have ordered some little rattle pieces online, like, you know, to stick in the toys to make them make a sound. So yeah, hopefully I'll get that done before, well, actually I'll probably get something like that done for him for Christmas, because he's not going to really use it right now. But yeah, so again, it was from the same book. For the most part it was quite good, but yeah, again, it is for more advanced knitters. I did struggle a bit again with the going back and forth, because it's the asterisks, and not like a different symbol, if you know what I mean. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I know. There was times where I did get stressed with them, but other times I just loved them, and I loved the breezing through of it. There was that much in. There wasn't too much interest, like particularly like down here where you're doing this back bit. There was enough like change and variation to keep me interested and keep me whizzing through, but at the same time it was not too monotonous for the most part, where I had to look at the pattern. So it was quite good. It was only when I got to the cables that I really had to focus and things like that. But that's it. But I did also find Ravelry really helpful when I was doing these projects, because on Ravelry I've been creating project pages for all my projects that I've been working on. It was one of my goals to try and keep Ravelry as like a little diary of what I've been working on, just because if I ever go back to a project, it's easy for me to then see like the hook I used, the yarn I used, and any notes that I made and things like that of like changes. Now there were things that because these are pay for pattern, there's a section where you can put private notes, where if anyone goes to view the public project page, they won't see them notes, only you will. I found that really helpful to be able to put how many rows I did before I had to start doing decreases and things like that, to make sure both sides matched up to each other. And I found that really helpful, because I didn't want to really put it anywhere where it could be publicly seen, because it is a pay for pattern. But yeah, I really liked that I could do it like that in the private, and it really helped a lot. And again, because it's in Ravelry and not a notebook, it meant it was portable, because it was on my phone, it was on my iPad, it was on any device that could connect it to the web. So really helpful with that. And it's something that I'm glad I really got into Ravelry this year, because I've used it, I've always used it, but I've never really used the project tracker and pages aspect of it. It's basically been a pattern database for me. So yeah, I'm glad to have ventured out into it. But next FO, this is for a Cal. This is for You Soxy and You Know It Cal by Amanda at Little Light Cack. So these are the Violet socks. These are a pair of socks that are free. Again, there's just that bit of detail on them. I'll hold them close. That goes around the middle on the front of the foot. There is just that little bit of detailing to once again keep you interested, but not enough where you need to really focus. Saying that, there were a few times where I did do the wrong rows. Yeah, so I was supposed to be doing row 2 of the pattern repeat. I might do a row 1 of the pattern repeat. Yeah, it would. That's me not paying attention. Yeah, but I really liked it, and it was a bit new to try the socks. Quite interested to see how it feels with that decoration bit on the middle. Again, yeah, I just liked it. It was a nice shake up from the regular vanilla socks that I'd been doing a lot of recently, and that stitch marker was where I was when you saw me last time. So I did the whole leg, and then I did a complete second sock. The yarn I used for these was the colour is James C. Brett Funny Feet Bamboo, and the colourway was saying here 8, but I can't be 8 because I'm pretty sure I've got another ball that's 8 and that's a completely different colourway. But it's the James C. Brett's Funny Feet, this one. I want to say the colourway was actually called, the name for it is Circus, but I'm not 100% sure. And then the pink is Drops Fable in the colourway pink. Now, when I am doing my socks, if I'm doing a pattern, I do try and convert it to a toe-up pattern, just because I do prefer doing toe-up socks. I prefer how it starts off. I do a Judy's Magic Cast On. I just prefer that to Kitchener stitching. I just find that's a lot neater when I do it. Others do Kitchener stitching so neat, and I am so impressed. But for me, I just prefer this. It also means that if the yarn is making my tension a little bit off, I can make sure it does still fit the right amount of feet, and I'm not going to run out of yarn and things like that. And then I did a shadow wrap heel on here, and that's just the heel that I like doing. It's the one that really fits me really well, and I know it off by heart. I don't need to look at a pattern to use it and things like that. So yeah, I just prefer that one. So they're all my knittings items that I've been working on recently, and they're all FOs. I do have a few crochet FOs, and these ones are old ones. These got started around this time last year. So my auntie, last year I made my brother-in-law a Halloween amigurumi that was holding a treat bowl, and it was from a pattern that was made by Mary on Ravelry and Etsy. It was a paid-for pattern. I'll link it down in the description box below. My auntie saw it, fell in love with it, and said, could you make something similar for my 3 grandsons? I was like, of course I will, but I obviously didn't want them to all have the same, and she only had that one pattern with the treat bowl, but she did have pattern for like a vampire and a witch, and that would just stood up. So I decided to take the pattern of the vampire and the witch to mash that up with the Frankenstein pattern to create a wizard, vampire and Frankenstein, and they'd all be holding a treat bag. So here's what we've got. See, so this is the Frankenstein. Here he is. So he's got grey pants, black boots, he's got a nice orange top, he's got a coat because that's what he was wearing in the Frankenstein bowl pattern. He's got little bolts on his head, got a cute little nose, the ears, the hat, and he's got a few scars because obviously he is Frankenstein. So that's him. I love the way Made by Mary does her hands. This is a bit crooked because he's been in my bag. Again, these were paid for patterns, but any of Made by Mary's patterns I'd highly recommend for as pay. You know, about paying for them. You know, I've got no qualms because they are just so good. The patterns, you know, really detailed. I've never had an issue with one of them. And yeah, and there's even pictures at times, and so detailed, and I absolutely love them. Here we have Vampire. So yeah, he's got little black boots. You can't really tell, but like they are separate to pants. His pants do go over his boots. He's got a red cape. He's got a nice white top. He's got little fangs. His nose is a bit more pointy, and then his little ears are pointy as well. His cape is longer in the pattern, but I played with yarn. I played yarn chicken and lost. And to be honest, I put it on him. I felt like it was a good length on him, and because obviously he's holding his treat bag's a mummy, then I didn't think it'd be too much of an issue. So yeah, I decided just to leave it shorter as is. And then finally we have the Wizard, complete with black cat. Voila. And then he's got little boots on, he's got orange pants, he's got a nice black top, and things like that. Now I did, oh, and obviously like a little witch's hat, and he has got hair underneath it. I did do a wig cap. Now obviously I have modified the pattern and I've left bits off to sort of make sure that they've all got a similar level of detail. I didn't want one to be more detailed than the other, and also one of the kids is quite young and I don't know which one of the kids is going to get which one, so I didn't want to put anything in that could be dangerous, which is why I have had to embroider all the eyes on, not use any safety eyes at all. But yeah, the yarn I've used is stash yarn, mostly Stylecraft and Hayfield Bonus DK. The pattern is supposed to be made with a worsted weight yarn, but I used what I had in hand, which was DK yarn. I used a 3mm hook for most of it. The odd thing I think I might use 4, but I'm not 100% sure. And I did omit the neck on the amigurumis just because you had to put a pole, like a dowel in or something like that. Again, because this is going, one of these is going to a really young kid, I didn't want to be putting like a dowel in or wiring in, just in case anything happened with the kids, just to make it as safe as possible. So yeah, I left the neck off. I don't really think that's much of an issue. But with the Wizard, we have this brown for the hair. Is just a scrap bit of brown that I've got. It's, I'm not sure what brand it is, but the flesh is Hayfield Bonus DK in toy. We've got Stylecraft Special DK in black and Stylecraft Special DK in Jaffa. And then for Vlad, the grey is a scrap grey that I had that I don't have the ball band for. Again, we've done the black. The red, this was Hayfield Bonus DK, and I believe this was maybe claret, I think it was, or maybe lipstick. And then Hayfield Bonus DK in, I think this is cream. This is not white, this is cream. Then with Frankenstein, he's got the grey, scrap grey there. The green is Stylecraft Special DK in grass green. The dark grey is the graphite, and then we went over the red, the orange, which is Jaffa. These bags here I got from a shop here in the UK called Home and Bargains. It's like got loads of random stuff in, like household stuff, a few like groceries and things like that, a few home items. But yeah, they had these treat bags. They did have handles on, which you can see there, which I just snipped out, and I just thought they looked so cool compared to me crocheting them. So yeah, I really like them, and I think, I'm hoping the kids like them, and I think because of the square bit, it'll help them stand up. So yeah, I've sent a photo to my auntie. She loves them, which I am made up about. Yeah, I was trying to get them done for, I knew I wanted to get them done for last year, but because of when she asked me, there was no way I was going to get them done in time, and I was just stressing myself out with it all. So yeah, I was like, I'll get them done for this year, and then I've been putting it off because like I've had a million one baby items to do, not for my just for my nephew, but another little baby that's recently been born in the family. She was born in September. So yeah, it's been a bit of a chaotic crafting year for making things for babies, which I've loved. But yeah, it meant that they got put to the back burner, and they've just been finished now. So my dad's actually going to go and see that auntie and uncle tomorrow, I believe. So he's going to take them with him and drop them off. So yeah, they'll be going to their new home tomorrow. And finally, we have whips. There's one thing that I've been working on throughout September, and this was supposed to be for Litsa at Coco's Crochet Decades Cal. I started it in September, which the month was 60s, but I knew I was not going to get it finished in September, but I'm going to keep working on it, and I absolutely love it. So again, this is for my nephew. When my we're trying to have a few things over here so that when my sister comes over here, she's not having to bring 1,000,001 things over with her every time. So we've got a few spare clothes here for if the baby chucks up on stuff and things like that. We're gonna have like a few nappies in here and all sorts of bits. But one of the things is I thought I'll make a crochet blanket, because they've got a knitted blanket at theirs for the baby. But I thought I'll make a crochet blanket. So this is actually the Call the Midwife pattern blanket, and I've been wanting to do this pattern for so long. I love the TV show called Midwife, and I fell in love with this blanket when I did see it on the show, and I love admiring the crochet on the show, but I've never actually got around to doing it. So yesterday I was like, right, I've got to get it done. Sorry, that last month I was like, right, this is a perfect opportunity. There's a baby who needs a blanket, I need to do it. So I've just been using colours from my stash. I'm going for greens, yellows and blues, and this is what I have. Now I'm striping the colours, and there's like a filet crochet row in between the like the flowery pattern thing, and I was like, oh, where do I put the filet row? So I've done the first colour here uses the fillets, the second row it doesn't have any fillet in that colour, and the third one it has the fillet, the fourth one doesn't have the fillet on the top and bottom, and I just thought, oh, that pleased my eyes a bit. I like it. So I'm using a 4mm hook, and yeah, just what I've got in stash, all my greens and blues and yellows. It is 10 blocks, I believe, and I'm gonna do 10 or 12 blocks down, don't know yet, we'll see. But it's gonna be a good size blanket, which is great because it means it'll grow with, like, the baby will grow into it. It's not just for when he's a tiny baby. But yeah, so the first yarn I used, I'm gonna have to look down here, this green is Hayfield Bonus DK in Lime, the blue is Starcraft Special DK in Aster, the yellow is Hayfield Bonus DK in Lemon, and then the green is the turquoisey minty green thing is Starcraft Special DK in Aster. Oh, Aspen. The blue's Aster, that's Aspen. So yeah, I've been working on this. This is, as I said, it was supposed to be for Litsa's Cal because this September was the 60s, and at the moment Called Midwife is set in the 60s, but I've not had it finished in time. But I'm enjoying working on it, and that's the main thing. It's quite a soothing project, and it's a great way for me to use my scraps up, and once again, can't wait to be able to wrap my little nephew in it. So that's what I've been mainly working on. I've been working on a few little projects here and there. I will include them in next week. I just didn't want this week to be too long and overbearing, so sort of went, right, stick on the main projects that you've worked on and the finished ones that are going to be going away to people soon. So yeah, that is what I've been up to. It's not as long as I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be a lot longer than this, which I'm kind of relieved by because yeah, I've got out of editing, so you know, getting back into it sort of thing. But yeah, that's what I have been working on. I do have a few projects that I need to prioritize. Next month is October, so I want to finish getting off I want to have the triangulum blanket finished by the end of October, just because that was my advent project from last year. I've decided what my advent project for this year is going to be, but that was one of the ones from last year. I had two. This was the other one. It's absolutely lovely. Love wrapping up in it. But yeah, I want to get it done, get it off the needles. Yeah, so working hard at it, that's what I'm prioritising now. So next time you may just see a lot of I'll be working on other stuff. I can't just stick on one thing over and over again. Saying that, when I was doing the mint cardigan, I don't think I stopped working on that until it was done. because I was just enjoying working on it so much. Tell a lie, I stopped when I had to come to the sewing. Then I crocheted on one of the Halloween amigurumis for a few hours before I started sewing. Worked my way into it. But yeah, that's it. That's what I've been up to. I just want to say a big thank you for people who've been reaching out and, you know, sticking with me through it all. It's just, yeah, it's been a bit of a crazy few months, but I said I'm going to film a video that's going to go up. That'll be my Vlogmas Day 1 video, because I'm hoping to do Vlogmas again this year. And I do like to film one day in advance, so normally I'll start on like the 30th of November and that'll be day 1, but this one I can pre-film this video and have it go up as day 1 of Vlogmas, and let you know the exciting things that are coming for me in the new year. Yeah, it's been stressful, but it just goes up from here outwards with that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm running out of things to say now. I'm like, my mind's just going into overload. Doesn't help that I'm probably still a bit high off the sedation from yesterday. Yeah, I said I had like some tests done and they're like, do you want sedation? I was like, of course I want sedation. Let's, you know, let's get a bit high. I'm not on to like taking, I don't take anything that's not prescribed by a doctor, but yeah, I was happy as Larry. Apparently I was like, because they put a nasal cannula with the oxygen and I was messing around with that, like breathing it in and pushing it out and stuff like that with my nose. Well, I was sat in the recovery room, and they were ringing someone to come and get me, because you can't go home on your own, which from the state I was in yesterday, I can understand why they don't let you go in on your own. I had to get changed afterwards and I'm like just trying to put my pants on, nearly face planted the wall. Yeah, so probably still a bit after that. I shouldn't have filmed it in the morning. I should have waited till tonight to film it. But anyway, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I hope you're all staying safe, taking care. Let me know what you've been working on, because I love catching up with you all, and I will speak to you all very, very soon. Take care. Bye.